What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Apologies. I know the show was 15 minutes early. Uh, didn't have a choice tonight, man. Had to get some shit done, so had to go ahead and jump on early. V, shouts out to the homie V, right? My NR, my co-host. Happy birthday to the homie. He out there celebrating birthday tonight with the fam and things of that nature. So he probably, maybe he might. I don't know if he gonna squeeze in or not. Maybe he might have squeezed in if the show would have started at 10. But man, I had to go ahead and get it going, bro. I had to go ahead and get it going. Let me get a couple things. Background music down there. Okay. All right. Here we go. First thing I wanted to talk about though, honestly, was let's see if I can get this up here. Was we are in a sports equinox. Sports equinox, y'all. Sports equinox happens sometimes right here. Today is a sports equinox, the only day in 2025 where all four major pro sports leagues, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and National Hockey League, have games on the same day, right? As you can see here, the World Series, that's not the World Series, but baseball is on the World Series. Early NBA season play, right? NHL hockey, early season play for them too as well. And National Football League, Monday Night Football is on. The Kansas City Chiefs are currently tied with the Kansas City Chiefs are currently tied with the Washington Commanders at 7 apiece at halftime. So, seen a couple plays from it. Obviously, was just getting off work and had a lot going on. Wasn't able to really take a look at the first half of the game. But here we go. Third quarter, I'm tripping. The Kansas City Chiefs have the ball. Let's see. Pass to Rice. Let's see what he's going to do with it. I guess about 5 yards. So I'll keep track of that as the show goes on. Again, apologies to anybody who was waiting for 10 p.m. and I went early. I'm sorry. I had to, man. I didn't have a choice when it comes to that. Also, something else, man. If you're familiar with this bag, if you've been a viewer on Instant Replay for any amount of if you watch the early seasons, you know what this bag means. You know exactly what this bag is. It says Under Armour. It says Protect This House. However, when the show first started, when we did our game picks, right? Every person who picked games had to have one game picked for them. So we would pull out helmets. It'll be your turn. We randomly look around and be like, oh, no matter what happens, whoever San Francisco's playing this week, you have to play the 49ers. You have to pick the 49ers. If you don't know the Chargers. Now, I will be honest. Let's see, this is the one. Let me see. When I ordered these helmets, okay, here it is. Oh, shoot, I'm going to have to fix it. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay. So, just to be sure, everybody who's watching, and anybody afterwards, they sent us, I ordered all 32 helmets, a helmet for each team, basically, right? And so what ended up happening was they sent us, we got a helmet for each team except 2 for the Cleveland Browns, right? 2 for the Browns. So what we did is we were missing, the helmet that we were missing was the Bengals. Good thing it's in the same division, but still. So one of these helmets, and I'll remember to mark it beforehand next time. One of these will represent the Browns, and one of these will represent the Cincinnati Bengals when we get to doing helmet picks, which will resume this week. Hadn't been able to do them. If you're familiar with the show, PJ, one of the co-hosts for like the first 4 or 5 seasons, terribly busy, not able to sort of get on to do the show or whatever. Totally understandable. But they were at his house, and every time I would go over there to hang out with homie, I would forget to get them. So I remembered Sunday after we went to the Falcons game, which I'll show you a picture of. So helmet picks are back. Helmet picks have returned. Let's see if I can find. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Mine. I mean, obviously, you can see right here. I'll pull this up. Me and the son and the homie V went to the Falcons game yesterday. Obviously, the Falcons, look right there. It's me, V. You know what I'm saying? Then had a couple, right? We feeling good though. Nice old game, but nice experience. I'll say that. When we took this picture, the Falcons were already getting clapped up, as you can see, all the empty seats in the background. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a second when I get to the game scores. But pull that down, get that out there. So yeah, I just want to show that just a little bit, get that out there. Helmet picks have returned. All right, so let's get to a couple of things, man. Right off rip, LSU fires Brian Kelly. LSU, as I go here, and let's see, get these up. College football scores from last weekend, and I'll talk about pertinent information as needs to be talked about when we get to some of these games. When it comes to the top 25, UCLA, Indiana laid the smack it down. Let me get this up here. Indiana laid the smack down on UCLA 56-6, 49-25 Texas A&M. They rolling. LSU loses third game this season, fires Brian Kelly. What I've heard talked about since that has happened is just that LSU doesn't like getting their asses handed to them. Their cheeks clapped on a Saturday night in Louisiana in front of all of those people when there's basically no other games going on, right? They got embarrassed, right? Texas A&M also probably something to worry about. Anyway, Texas A&M 49-25 over LSU. Brian Kelly gets fired. Alabama 29-22 over South Carolina. South Carolina had this game, bro. They played them really well. I think their defense played them better than Georgia's defense did, honestly, coming through this game. But the last few minutes, last half of the fourth quarter, they just couldn't come up with it, man. Oregon 21-7 over Wisconsin. Georgia Tech 41-16. I'm telling y'all, Georgia Tech still out here rolling, bro. Still out here rolling. 34-26, Ole Miss over Oklahoma. Oklahoma loses 2 games. Ole Miss bouncing back from that loss against Georgia last week. Stanford, Miami, 42-7, Miami. Missouri, Vanderbilt, 17-10, Vanderbilt. BYU, 41-27. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, 42-0. 17-16, Virginia over North Carolina. Tennessee rolls over Kentucky, 56-34. 34-31, close game. Memphis over South Florida. That's a good game. Good game, man. Louisville over Boston College, 34-28. 41-20, Cincinnati over Baylor. Long gone are the RG3 days. 45-38, Texas over Mississippi State. Look at Sark with his hands up. Hook 'em horns. Relax, Sark. Relax. 42-25, Washington over Illinois. 24-16, Houston over Arizona State. And Michigan 31-20 over Michigan State. Big game rivalry right there. Obviously, it is what it is. So a lot of teams out there. You talking about Penn State, LSU. Let's see. Damn, the teams are leaving me right now that don't have a coach. Mike Gundy's old school. Oklahoma State. A lot of teams out there. It seems that everyone's after Lane Kiffin. I heard something interesting today when it comes to that, by the way. From Cam Newton, of all people. He said Lane should stay at Ole Miss and make his own legacy, right? People want to come to LSU, right? Because Saban coached there, because Ogeron did his thing there, because damn it, his name just left me. You know the other, Les Miles was there, right? National champion winners, all 3 of those guys, right? Right? They've made legacies there, right? Florida, same thing. They have legacies there. And so all of these schools apparently are after Lane Kiffin. And I agree with Cam Newton. Well, Lane Kiffin should stay at Ole Miss, man. He should stay at Ole Miss. Create his own legacy. And before you go say it, I am a Georgia fan, yes. I am in no way, shape, or form afraid of Lane Kiffin. Okay? Before anybody say, you just don't want to go to Florida or LSU, because, nah, not as scared of him at all. Right? I'm very confident in the best coach in the SEC right now, who is Kirby Smart. Yes, Alabama got us. I'm never gonna dismiss that like it never fucking happened, okay? But if you think DeBoer is a better coach than Kirby, anyway, yeah. So, here goes those. So there's college right there. As far as this weekend's upcoming games, Georgia returns to action against Florida this weekend. We'll talk about that on Wednesday night. Okay. So yeah, biggest news in college: LSU fires Brian Kelly. Look, man, this day and age, they don't give you much time to do your thing. They're just not. Now, the schools who know they don't really have a chance, SEC schools more specifically, they have coaches that stay a little bit, right? But the big ones like LSU, they expect to be national champs like every 5 years or something, whatever the case may be. They don't play that shit when they're not winning. Got it. Should Kelly have stayed at Notre Dame? Probably, right? We all know what happened. And in one of those, I like to call it one of those you got no business games. You know, when Notre Dame went to play Alabama in the national championship game in like 2012 or 13 or whatever the case may be was they had no business there. They should have let Georgia play them again, right? Should have. Anyway, let's move on to some professional football. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter show. Apologies. A lot going down. Vikings, Carson Wentz to have season-ending surgery on that left shoulder that he was harboring so much during that game. Will we ever see Carson Wentz again in NFL ranks? Will he ever play for another team? Will he ever, you know what I'm saying, be on the sideline holding the clipboard for who knows? I have no clue, but he is. Carson Wentz to have season-ending surgery. Broncos cornerback Pat Surtain II, the reigning defensive player of the year, is out for Surtain expected to be out a couple weeks with an injury. Let's check out what this injury is, man. Of course, I didn't catch that game. We were traveling when a lot of these games were going on. I was only able to watch Denver Broncos cornerback Pat Surtain. Let's get this up here. Is expected to miss multiple games with a left pectoral strain and could be a candidate for injured reserve, sources told ESPN on Monday. Surtain was injured while making a tackle with 22 seconds left in the first half of Sunday's 44-24 win. Obviously, they didn't need him, but Surtain, bro, come on. I'm not going to say they don't need Surtain, right? Surtain is fire, son. You know what I mean? You're talking about a great fucking player. So he was injured right before the second half, or right before the first half injured. Hope for a speedy recovery for that cat. But again, Surtain injured, okay? Let's see. There's a couple more out here when it comes to the injuries. Obviously, some trade stuff out there. Titans sent 2022 second round cornerback McCreary to the Rams. Jets getting calls for the defensive tackle Williams. Running back Breece Hall and the Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers also drawing interest. I think this is probably going to be one of the most active trade deadline weeks in history in the NFL, in recent history. And the real big one, man. Real big one, bro. I gotta shouts out, man. No injury to me, in my personal opinion, no matter how long they've gone. Injuries are injuries. I hate to see it. I am a fan of the sport. I am a super fan of every single athlete who has the heart, the desire, the power, the drive to make it to professional football, even college football, just to play it in general and play through injuries. It hurts my heart to see it, no matter who it is, man. And Bo Scatterbo, man. Hey, Bo, get yourself together, bro. Get yourself together. I know he's going to miss the rest of the season. Dislocated ankle, had to have surgery on it. Was having a tremendous season, man. And I think when you look at Jackson Dart's face after the injury, he yelled fuck a couple times and sort of took a knee. I think everybody in the Giants organization understands how much that cat meant to this young football team. Not even more than what he's done on the field. He's done nice shit on the field. I do think he's had a couple plays out there. But again, I think he'll come back next season better than ever. And so shouts out to all the players who got injured, man. I hate to see it. I really, 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 really hate to see players get hurt, man. It is. They're doing what they love for a living, man. Like at my job, man. Imagine if I got hurt and had to miss the rest of the year at my job, bro. At least these cats still get paid and shit like that. Right? So there's that, right? There's that. Also, man, let's get to the games, man. Let's get to the games. Obviously, right now, let's check in on the Commanders and the Chiefs. 14-7, Chiefs over Commanders. The Commanders got the ball 2nd and 8 at their own, looks like 4-yard line. So, got the first down, Terry McLaurin over the 20-yard line. So, Commanders moving the ball real deep in their own territory. So, let's go, man. Let's start with the Thursday night game. We'll go through these real quick. The Vikings-Chargers. Pick the Vikings. Chargers are way better. Vikings dealing with some issues right now, right? All right, let's keep going. Dolphins, Falcons, y'all. Dolphins, Falcons. Now, if you were not aware, like I said earlier, I attended this game yesterday, was able to watch it in all of its glory or non-glory or whatever you want to call it. Falcons got down. That late touchdown to make it 34-10 was pretty much, it's one of those, I hate to call shit garbage time, but it was late in the game. The game was already put away, right? Dolphins 34. Falcons just look. Kirk Cousins started. He ain't had enough reps with the team, bro. Not enough reps with the first team. So there's that for you. And yeah, man, they just look bad. The Falcons look bad. I expected this to be a drop. And a lot of Dolphins fans there too. A lot of Dolphins fans. Shouts out to the Fins fans. They showed up for this game. They showed up, man. But the Falcons know how to put on the show. I've been in that stadium a bunch of times before to watch a game. It was a nice experience. But yeah, Falcons fans started bouncing third quarter. Falcons come out with a drive. They would drive and look like they might try to mount some shit. And then Bijan fumbled the ball. And Falcons fans started taking the exits, bro. They started hitting the exits, man. So there's that one. Let's see. That, all right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bears, Ravens. Pick the Bears. Ravens show up without Lamar Jackson. Got Snoop out there running the offense. Got them some points on the board. So 30-16, man. It's honestly good to see the Ravens doing some stuff, right? They got off that one win that they had on there for since week number 2. And so I bet it felt good for them to get a dub. Bet it felt good for them to have a sort of after a dub locker room celebration, right? And the Bears saw Caleb throw a pick that was nasty, bro. Bills, Panthers, Bills. They come in here, dominate the Panthers. Just absolutely destroy them cats. We see it there. Jets, Bengals. All right, Jets get their first dub of the season. Bengals, man. Thought y'all picked y'all to win this game, and of course, you didn't. The Jets showed some ball sack in this one, bro. They showed some nuts. They came in here and played this game nice. Obviously, the last play that sort of secured it for him, Brees Hall throwing the pass. It was not a great pass in my opinion, but it was caught for the touchdown, right? So there we go, 39-38. A lot of Bengals fans upset about this one. And look, when you lose to you lose to the Jets, who hadn't won a game all season, who really were looking like the worst team in the league, right? I mean, let's hold no bones. I'm sure they'd say the same thing. All right, anyway, next game, 49ers, Texans. I think I picked the 49ers. I have to go back and look. Texans pulled this thing out 26-15. I think when I looked at the highlights for this game, I would say that the absence of a lot of players on the 49ers roster due to injury is finally being felt, right? We saw some continuous stuff from them last week that sort of they still were able to hold the ship above water. But this one right here, because the Texans playing decent ball as of late, but not great ball, right? And so the 49ers, I would have thought, you know what, matter of fact, let me pull this down. Let me see what I got. Let me see what the I got to go back and look at my game picks, man, because I'm forgetting some of them. Obviously, I hadn't color-coded the wins and losses yet, but let's get to it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. Oh yeah. Looking at. I think V might finally catch up. He gonna get some catch ups on me this week. I picked the 49ers. He picked the Texans. Obviously, the Texans won. So let's go back to the scores. And we both picked the Patriots. We both picked the Giants, which they both lost. Browns, Patriots. The Patriots continue to roll. Drake May, all the talk about him, like trying to slide into the MVP conversation. Could possibly be right. Dude's having a good thing. However, also what happened in this game was Myles Garrett had 5 sacks, bro. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks in this game, right? I will say this. The clip that I seen of Myles Garrett upset on the sideline, 32-13 Patriots over Browns. I seen the clip of Myles Garrett upset on the sideline, bro. Don't know what happened because I didn't see that game. But what I would hope is that Myles Garrett isn't upset that they're losing, right? Because, look, this is the guy that came out at the end of the season, declared, I want a trade. Declare, I want to win. I want to win. That is more valuable to me at this point in my career. I want to get out of here. I want to go to a squad that wins. That was Myles Garrett, right? That was what Myles Garrett was sort of saying when he demanded a trade, right? I mean, we've seen it, right? Hold on, let me get this up. Right? Hold on. All right, so let me get this up here. So as you can see, if his play is good, Myles Garrett out here sacking the hell out of 5 sacks. Now, what I was saying was he wanted out of there, right? And then organizations do what they sometimes do to players who ask for a trade, who still have a year or two left on their contract, is they dangle dollar signs in front of them, right? They dangle dollar signs in front of the player. And in this case, Myles Garrett, who was devout, I want out of this franchise, said, all right, I'll resign. Record contract at the time, got a whole bunch of money. So you chose this, Myles Garrett. You chose to stay in Cleveland. You chose this. So, look, again, I don't know exactly what he was pissed off about on the sideline. I can't tell you, But if it was because they losing, homie, you chose to stay in this organization. Not saying they would have traded you anyway, but you could have gotten out of there. Now you're there for years, bro. For years. Doing this kind of work. Out here sacking the hell out of the quarterback. I mean, putting a man down. Sacking the hell out of the quarterback. And you're there. You're stuck with this organization, man. I think you got a contract that's too large for a team to take on. I know everybody's out there trying to tell Dallas, you need to trade for Myles Garrett or Henderson or somebody like that. Henderson, they could probably do that but Myles Garrett, that's a contract, bro. That's a thick old fat contract. And he's several years left. So, hey, look, I'm not trying to say nobody's going to trade for him. But if the Cowboys are going to trade for Myles Garrett, you're going to have to give up what you received for Micah Parsons. Then what are we doing here, right? So, yeah. Browns, Patriots, 32-13. Yeah, there we go. Let's keep going. Giants, Eagles. Eagles get revenge on the Giants for a couple weeks ago getting beat in prime time and Bears on Monday Night Football. Obviously, Scatterboo went out in that game. We'll see where the Giants go from there. Bucks, Saints. Bucks should have won this game. They did win this game 23-3. Spencer Rattler got benched, got put on the bench for poor play. Cowboys, Broncos. Broncos clapped the cheeks off the Cowboys. Clapped them up. Let me see where I look. And I picked the Cowboys like a dumbass. V, I hope you're watching. I'm picking teams from your division for the rest of the damn season. I done got in bed. Done picked them. Well, I picked the Chiefs tonight, though. All right, Titans, Colts. Colts continue to roll. Best team in the league right now I'm not going to say by far, but best team in the league. They're playing really good football, really complimentary football, really balanced football, right? Can say no hate against the Colts, right? And maybe the owner chilling on the sideline maybe has something to do with that, right? Maybe people are holding themselves accountable with some of these decisions that they make that they probably wouldn't have if your owner isn't sitting on the sideline about to be in your ass about it right after a play call, right? And look, I don't think that the owner is literally after a bad play. Well, why the fuck did you call that? I doubt that's happening. I would hope that's not happening because coaches are allowed to make bad fucking calls. If you've earned the right to be a head coach in the National fucking Football League, you've earned the right to make a couple of bad calls. Packers, Steelers. Obviously, last night, I was satisfied with what happened at the end of this game. The Packers came in there. Jordan Love played lights fucking out. The defense played great. I was pretty pissed off at the end of the first half considering what the score was, and we missed a field goal. We could have made it 16-10 at half. We missed a field goal, right? McManus missed 2 yesterday, right? And then I'm sure Packers fans were saying, where that other dude at that we just signed Bring that cat back in here. We need that cat, right? I can't remember the cat's name. I'm sorry, Packers fans. I can't. But he been kicking for us great, and then McManus comes back and misses two dose kicks, bro. I'm like, come on, man. We ain't got time for this shit. But obviously in the second half, Tucker Kraft goes off. The defense is able to get to Micah Parsons. Everybody else on the defense, Rashawn Gary had 2 sacks. We're able to get to Rodgers a few times. And we took advantage of the Steelers defense, which hasn't been good this season, right? Highest paid defense in the league, almost worst defense in the league. So anyway, all right, so I'm about to wrap this up. Damn, Kansas City just went up 20-7 on the Washington Commanders. So we'll see what happens with that game. We'll talk more about the results of that game on Wednesday night when we do our second show of the week. But until then, you guys, I appreciate everybody who watched, everybody who tuned in tonight. Like I said, I apologize for going just a little bit early, but I had to get up off of here. I got some shit to take care of. But anyway, yeah, man, you guys have a great rest of your night and enjoy the rest of this game. I'm sure you are. If you're a Chiefs fan, if you're a Commanders fan, you're like, yo, what the fuck? But that's just how football goes, y'all. That's just how football goes. Anyway, we'll be back with a longer show, get into a little bit more detail on some things on Wednesday when I have a co-host back and I don't have something that I have to do. But anyway, see y'all later. Y'all enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy the rest of tonight's game. Peace out.